Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk about all major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and much, much more. I'm Chris, and whether you asked for it or not, we are getting a Jungle Cruise 2, as Disney has greenlit the second installment after this film has now reached $100 million in the domestic box office, which, given the circumstances of COVID-era movies and all of the issues, that's a pretty impressive number, and definitely shows potential moving down the road. However, the mixed reviews and reactions for the film definitely make me wonder whether or not this has the legs to be the next Pirates of the Caribbean, for example. We'll talk about that a little bit and talk about who might be returning and is returning for the next film right here in today's video. Consider subscribing if you love to stay up to date on all major movie and television news. I talk with all of you guys down in the comments section as well, so make sure to comment and let me know if you're excited for Jungle Cruise 2 or if you thought one was enough. There are those who are calling Jungle Cruise the next Pirates of the Caribbean franchise in Disney's universe. And the reason for this specifically, if you didn't know, is both Pirates of the Caribbean and Jungle Cruise, the entire movie and the franchise of Pirates of the Caribbean, were all based off of a Disney ride that had existed prior. Not a book, not an old story, but off of a Disney ride that was well known and very loved. The same goes for Jungle Cruise, as there is a very well-known Disneyland attraction, Jungle Cruise, which features very similar thoughts, aspects, and ideologies that we saw in the Jungle Cruise movie, including Easter eggs, little fun nodes to the ride, and an overall fun experience for people who enjoy this type of Disney movie. Now, not only does this movie have the same roots as Pirates of the Caribbean, meaning that they are both Disney rides turned into films, but they also had a very similar feel, idea, thought, bad guy. There was a story of a very cool legend that ended up being somebody who couldn't die. It's all very similar from what we saw in Pirates of the Caribbean. They couldn't be killed, they couldn't be murdered, they were cursed, and they wanted to be set free, which is exactly what we saw in Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl. Now, I am a huge fan of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, Johnny Depp and company, everybody involved. It was and remains to be one of my favorite trilogies out there. But the question that we're asking right now is, does Jungle Cruise have the legs to do exactly what Pirates of the Caribbean did? The first Pirates of the Caribbean movie had a $140 million budget, and Jungle Cruise actually surpassed that with a $200 million budget. But I do honestly believe between the two, Jungle Cruise seemed a little tackier and a little bit under budget comparatively if you're looking at the numbers that they both had. The huge, awesome scenes and overall incredible experience that you get from watching Pirates of the Caribbean, I personally don't think was met watching Jungle Cruise. And don't get me wrong, I am a huge fan of The Rock. He's one of my favorite celebrity personnel out there, and I think he did a fantastic job in the movie. But there was something about the movie that just felt a little bit repetitive. I don't want to say cheap, because it wasn't. It was a good time, and I enjoyed it thoroughly, although it probably doesn't sound like it right now. I just wonder if the comparison is there to be made between Pirates of the Caribbean and Jungle Cruise. But on a note of my personal opinion of the film on its own, standing as its own merits, it was a great time. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Emily Blunt and The Rock were both very good on screen, and it was overall super enjoyable. And I am curious to see where they go now that The Rock's character Frank is free of his curse and able to go travel about the world. Him and Emily Blunt together do make an awesome team, and they are historians with a knack for adventure, so the difference between Pirates of the Caribbean and Jungle Cruise that's a positive maybe, is they can really go in any direction, making it more of an Indiana Jones type film, where they can go and find themselves on new crusades, new adventures, and it leaves the storyline of the Amazon, of the original quest that they were there looking for these leaves and these petals that were going to bring immortality and happiness and health to the world. They can leave that story and go and find another one, which can bring me to another comparison, like I just mentioned, Indiana Jones, which I think is more suiting than comparing it to Pirates of the Caribbean overall. Indiana Jones is a fantastic franchise to compare yourself to, as well as it is a very exciting franchise, but every single film has a disconnect where they have different adventures, different connections that, although they live in one universe to say, or one storyline, one timeline, they don't necessarily rely on each other to be good movies. So I think that's more the direction we should be expecting to go with Jungle Cruise, and I personally am very excited to see where they take it. What more adventures lie ahead for Frank, as well as perils and new friends along the way. Let me know if you're excited for the idea of a Jungle Cruise 2, which, like I mentioned, was greenlit, and we will for sure be getting. Both The Rock and Emily Blunt are currently set to return, so I'm very excited to see where they take us. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one right here on Cosmic Culture.